are you turning into your parents? I mean, one day you're eating wings, drinking milkshakes, just living it up, eating Rotel with extra cheese, and the next day you're lactose intolerant. You are calling the police on your loud neighbors. You are complaining about people driving to the neighborhood too fast. If that's you I'm describing, the question for you and for us today is, am I turning into my parents? Have I turned into my parents? So if you're listening today, we're going to ask that question. We're going to dig into that and see exactly, are we turning into the people that birthed us? Are we turning into our parents? So if you're tuning in, watching on YouTube, listening on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, whatever you listen to or watching it right now, we want to say thank you and welcome to the #1 rated marriage and relationship podcast in the world. I am your host, Mr., aka Jeffrey Mr. And right beside me is my wife of 13 plus years, 2 kids, a home.
And I'm your co-host, Mrs. Mr., aka Dana Mr., and together we are
the Misters. Yeah. Like I said.
That's an interesting question, Jeffrey. Are we turning to our parents?
Are we turning into our parents? Do you realize that? Do you think you turn? And so.
Well, there's an article out there that states that 52% of us started acting like our parents by the age of 35 years old. And by 35 years old, which that's a lot of us already.
A lot of people listening right now like, am I turning into my parents right now? Am I turning into my parents? I remember growing up though and thinking, like, I remember my parents, I thought they were like so old, and they were not old. I was like, man, they did not know what is going on in themselves. And I wondered, like, were they always like that? Well, my parents always had no clue about, like, I thought I would have to have the conversation with my parents about the yams. I thought I'd have a conversation with my parents about sex. Like, guys, sit down for a moment, okay? Something big I want to tell you guys. It's a little awkward. It's a little awkward talking to you about this. But let me tell you how babies are born. Okay.
I think they pretty much know.
Obviously, they're happening to it. At least
obviously, you have a brother and a sister to prove otherwise.
Yeah, so at least 3 times. You got the same thing. We're the same thing. At least we'll. So.
We gonna do the theme song today?
Yes, we have to do the theme song, and we want you to sing along. If you're listening and watching, sing along. Grab your spouse right now. Tell them they do the theme song. So come along. And it goes a little something like this.
Laugh, learn,
hold on,
love.
cut. Start again. Come on, you gotta come on key. Come on. 1, 2, 3. Come on, y'all.
Laugh, learn, love.
There she go.
Laugh, learn, love.
We're talking about returning our parents.
Laugh, learn, love.
On the Mr. and Mrs. Mr. podcast show.
Laugh, learn, love.
Are we getting old?
Laugh, learn, love.
Am I a dad and my mom?
Laugh, learn, love.
On the Mr. and Mrs. Mr. podcast show. Yeah.
Let's start the show.
Yeah. That's the #1 theme song in the world. She didn't like this theme song at first. She was like, no, I like that. It's kind of whack. I was like, no, this is hot. It's still hot right there. So, yes. So, thank everybody who's already rated, liked, subscribed, told somebody about this podcast. You are our day one Mr. Family members. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Keep doing that. Keep passing the word. People stop us. It's like, man, I listened to the episode last night. Well, y'all crazy. I thought we had problems. I'm telling you, we're not experts. We're not in it. We've been married 13 plus years, 2 kids. They are 75 right now. So a lot of that. So what you hear is our experience.
And he said 7 and 5, not 75.
Oh, 7. I know, right? We really turned our parents down. But they ain't gonna say. But yes, 7 and 5. Let me enunciate that. And so yes, and we are just here. We love marriage. We want to champion that. We want to keep y'all together. We try to stay together ourselves. It's a daily journey. So you got to put that work in.
Yes.
So every episode we like to laugh, learn, and love. What we say now? Laugh, learn, love. What we say? Laugh, learn, love. That's what we're going to do. Laugh, learn, love.
All righty. You're ready. So laughing.
Yes. And we start off with a question. We start off with a question every episode where we need your help, or we debate questions off air. We kind of bring them on here sometimes. And so the segment that we like to kick off is Whose Side You're On? So you, the listening audience, decide as Miss Miss is going to read this question. You listen closely And we just like to have fun with it. So don't be too serious with yourself and decide which side you're on, Mrs. Mr. or Mrs. Mr. Kick it off with the whose side you're on question of the week.
Okay. What song was playing? This is Jeffrey's question. What song was playing in the background when your parents made you? A. Al Green, Let's Get It On.
Let's get it on.
B. Rick James, Super Freak.
Super Freak.
And
Super
C.
Freak.
Mississippi Mass Choir, Call Him Up.
Call him up.
Wow.
Tell him what you want.
Only Joe would come up with these
questions.
questions.
I think it's real. So unless your parents were...
First of all, I would like to say, I know I have a brother and a sister, but
What did you hear?
well.
Did you hear the music?
So no, what I'm saying is, I really don't want to discuss like my parents being intimate with each other, whatever.
So you heard them.
But anyway, I would say if I had to choose a question of a response to this, I would say when I was made, it probably would have been Al Green.
Al Green. Okay. Mm-hmm. Al Green. You want to say why? What characteristics? This is the point you want to get into. This is why I make this question. Is what characteristics of your parents would lead you to? So you see, you got Al Green, you got Super Freak Rick James, and you got the Mississippi Mass Choir with Call Him Up, and that might be what they was doing. Call him up.
Anyway, go ahead, Jeffrey.
Well, you never give her. I was talking to her. See, she's shy and stuff like that. Not today. Not in this episode.
I'm just saying this is Al Green. Like,
well, watch it. Yes, you do.
I don't know. I'm just saying, out of these options, like, my mom probably don't know anything about Rick James. And
your mom don't know nothing about Rick James.
I mean, I'm just saying, she probably, I don't
Super Freak. She don't know about Super Freak.
I don't know. I would probably just say Al Green. Go ahead. What would you say?
You don't know.
What would you say?
You're not giving a reason why.
Yes.
I'm not hearing the reason why.
Can you please
no, listen, I just want to hear the reason why. Which y'all opinion, you gotta bring us.
Can you?
I love the awkwardness. I'm sorry. I get it. I would have to say mine would have to be. I would have to say the Mississippi Mass Choir, Call Him Up. And I think sometimes that music get to playing and you get in the spirit and you just got to. Well, you got to do what you got to do, and I appreciate that because if they didn't do what they had to do, you wouldn't be listening. You wouldn't be listening. It wouldn't be the Mr. and Mrs. Mr. podcast show on this thing right here. So I would say the Mississippi Mass Choir, and I say call him up because sometimes you got to call him up in there. If you ever been to Yams, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Anyway, so you can go ahead and cast your vote with A, B, or C and place it in the comments.
Y'all keep pulling her out of her shell too, y'all. See that? You got to be comfortable in this thing. I didn't buy a ring. Like I said in the other episode, if you missed the last episode, go back and listen to that because it leads into this. This is the prelude to what we're talking about today.
You know what? Something I was gonna say that's interesting. Yeah. I meant to bring this up before we discussing this, but have y'all seen the Book-It commercial? We was discussing it last week about a woman proposing to the male.
Yeah.
When was it last week or week before last? One of these episodes. Mm-hmm. But so I didn't realize this until we were somewhere and I saw the Book-It commercial, and I was like, oh my goodness, like the lady was proposing to the male or whatnot. Mm-hmm. But it was the comments. I love for the comments. The comments were interesting. The comments were really interesting. But I just had to say that I thought that was really
It was.
And if you haven't seen it, go look at the Booking commercial.
Booking.com is the young lady. They are advertising that you can book a reservation. And then just in case it
doesn't go through, you can cancel it.
I don't know how long you got. I don't know all that, but it was interesting. We need to bring it up.
Yes, but it was really cool. But it was really cool concept. I love commercials. I'm a marketing major by it, so I love commercials. I love to see how people get.
I was a marketing major. She was just trying to be a marketing major, being in my class.
All right, but I love that commercial.
Yeah, it was dope commercial. I think we talk about that more. We actually have a vlog coming out. We just came back from Vegas, so we got a vlog coming out that very interesting things happened on the trip, and so you get a chance to see all that coming up. You need to follow us on YouTube though to see that on the Mr. and Mrs. Mr. podcast.
Yes, it was a long journey for me, especially because I was only there for like 2 days. And my travel day for Friday and Monday was interesting.
So yeah, we had some. It's a lot of things happening. So It's our first vlog. We haven't vlogged before, so
Yes.
made a vlog. It's
Yes.
real. It's real. So it's like it's pretty intense on some things. So check it out real soon.
Yes.
If you listen to this episode, it may be dropping real soon too. So
Yes.
check it out. So
Yeah,
so
move
A, B,
on.
or C.
ABC.
Al Green.
Al Green. A.
Let's get it on.
B. Rick James.
Super Freak. No, sing that part. I want to hear you sing Super Freak. Just a little sing.
And 3. Mississippi Mass Choir. Call him up.
So which one do you think your parents made you with?
Alrighty. And discussing learning.
Somebody spooked you.
Do you feel you turn into your parents? Jeff, you feel like you turn into your parents?
No, I don't think I have. I don't know. I think I am. At one point, I thought I was adopted at one point because of the nature that I exist in. I'm not real shy. Like I think I may have been shy.
But your dad is pretty outgoing though.
I think so. So I get that from him. I think my dad is pretty outgoing. He talks to people a lot. That's what I had down as my list of like, as we were thinking about this before the show, we were thinking about like, where are we similar to our parents? I think one of mine is like I'm pretty sociable, so I like to talk to people. I get energy from talking to people. I think my dad had the same gene or genetic characteristic like the X-Men would. But I think just being able to talk to people, I think is something that I enjoy doing. So you stop me in the streets unless I'm about to miss a plane or something, I'll holler at you and we can rap for a minute and we can get on down. But yes, I love that. That's one thing. I won't go on. Yeah, I'll let you go ahead. What's the thing? Well, first, do you feel like you are like your parents? Do you feel like you're like your parents?
I believe I have some character. I know I have some characteristics like my mom. Like I do. Shout out to my mama.
Would you like to share some of those?
Oh, that's pretty awesome. I would say. And another question to follow is, what do you do that your parents did when you were younger? I would probably say, okay, so one of the things, I don't like driving. Okay, a lot of
did
people
you always not like driving? I think people want to know, like, did you always not like driving, or that's something that you came about?
I mean, at first I didn't mind driving, but now I done got to the point where I don't like driving at night. I don't like driving in the rain. I don't like 2 lanes. I don't like the interstate. Even Japanese made me.
So you're like a black Miss Daisy.
I remember I keep trying to tell Jeffrey so he can hire my hope. I need somebody to come drive for me.
This is an abomination. Someone please.
I just don't like driving.
It's an abomination.
And so I don't know. It's just like one of those things. And so and it's so funny because my mom, she like my mom to this day, she still drives. Like she gets so frustrated. Like she still drives. Like she drives pretty much everywhere. She doesn't mind even taking long trips. Like I have like my limit is like 4 or 5 hours in a car. But like my mom, she's willing.
Could you drive 4 or 5 hours right now?
Could I tell you?
Could you drive 4 or 5 hours now at this time?
At this time? At this time right
now?
No,
I'm saying not at this exact moment.
No.
I'm saying like at any point in time in the near future, could you drive 4 or 5 hours?
I'm sure I can. Yeah, most definitely. It's in my preference.
That means absolutely no. People say that.
That's why I have you.
That's what you see that? You see what I'm saying?
But some people, and the thing about it is, I know some people. Like they love they love driving because it gives them time to meditate and think and all of that stuff.
But not you. You don't need that time.
I can do that on the passenger seat, like so. I just so yeah. So I need somebody to come and just be like driving Miss Dana.
You see that? You see exactly what I'm talking about? And it's just starting early. Like it's normally not till like Miss Daisy was like 88 years old when it came home. You in your 30s, and this is what. It's just not.
But I do drive. I definitely drive. Like my thing is, I do drive. Like when because even like with the kids and stuff, I've been going out of town with the kids without Jeff being there. Of course, I drive. Of course.
When was that time?
When we went to Orlando for Malia's 5th birthday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so I drove around. We flew to Orlando. I didn't drive to Orlando. Flew to Orlando, but I drove around. So if I have
that was like 8 years ago.
No, that was 2 years ago. So it's not my first choice, but so that I would say that's one of the things that. Oh, another thing too. that I do not like 18-wheelers, trucks, or whatnot like that. Now, I know I definitely got that from my mom. Like, I remember I drive and I'll be blowing a horn because I need to make sure they see me. Like, seriously. So, yeah.
When did this start, though? Would this start all the time? Like, was this something? And I'm thinking about the question that we're asking, too. And you can ask yourself this.
Well, I think the thing about it, one of the things that happened is when I was younger, my mom actually had an accident with the 18-wheeler being involved. So I think it's kind of like one of those things, just hearing about it and stuff like that, it just make, it just put things in your mind that fear. And so, you overcome that fear, obviously, because you drive. Yeah. So, but it's not my first
You're gonna jump out roll out the car.
I'm not going to be the one. So if it was a group of us and be like, well, who driving? I'm not going to be the person that says I'm going to be that person. I'm not. Yeah.
Clearly. Clearly. But now I'm thinking about this, right? And so please ask yourself this same question too, and then your spouse or who you with as well. Like, is that a learned behavior or is that something genetic? Is there something genetic that, like you were saying in terms of driving, there's a fear of driving, and we're going to get into a couple things of like what we've seen each other about those things. But I guess that's what we talked about so far.
Now, for that particular instance, I do believe it's learned. I believe it was just learned. I just, so yeah.
I'm thinking about, for me, being a social person, like being able to like talk. My mom wasn't as social growing up as my dad was. My dad was more social than my mom. And so I'm thinking, is that a genetic thing? Like, my brother and my sister are not as social as I am, which makes me think that I may be adopted. But
John, you look just like them, mister.
Hello.
Can't deny.
Hello. But I think, like, is it a learned or genetic behavior? And some people may be like, some people, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Or it could be a combination of both.
Maybe it is. Maybe we're just more prone to it. Maybe you are like what you see sometimes, and sometimes you're not. Sometimes you have a thing. It just depends. There's a lot of variables in it.
Yeah, I think it could be a lot of variables. All the geneticists and scientists, y'all chime in.
Yeah. Let us know
but yeah.
And so we were learning, like you were saying earlier, they were saying women at 33 years old turn into their mother.
The average age is 33. Between the ages of, you become your mom between the ages of 30 and 35, but the average age, of course, is 33.
So, fellas, if you're single, like we got
and I think it was like 56%, and then the remaining 20-something% is between the ages of 36 and 40, and then for the remaining 10% or whatever's left, they claim that they didn't really become their moms until they're between 40 and 50.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. So it's like, but what are some of those? We talked about some of the things that we came up. There are positive and I guess negative characters before we jump to the article. But like in terms of what are some things that you feel? I guess you're like, man, I'm turning to my parents. Like, maybe, like you said about fear, maybe it's something else that you maybe listen to,
well,
too.
I think some of the things, like some of my statements that I may make.
Yeah, give us some examples of those things.
Like, I have
I'm sure they heard.
I'm sure you probably heard.
Mr. Family have heard some of those things.
Yeah, the Mr. Family, because one of the things that I have gotten from my mom, and y'all probably hear me say it, is my thing is.
And this is the time we can cut into the episode and show you all 9,732 times.
My thing is, and I think it's one of those things.
My thing is.
I don't know.
Who else think is it? Who is talking?
So, and I know it's not something that I have to say because I am making the statement, and so I don't have to say my thing is. But it's just something about saying my thing is, put more emphasis on that point. Hello, somebody. So I do. I say that a lot.
Y'all let her know if that does make the point better. Because please listen, they'll be like, she does it every somebody she says it every sentence now.
I'm trying to. It's a conscious thing that I'm trying to make, like, to adjust. But yeah, I do say it. I say my thing is a lot.
My thing is.
Yes, and then I also do. That my grandmother used to say. My grandmother, my mom, like that is like that goes way. But I do a lot.
So this is one thing too. This is I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm gonna say this since it goes along with that. We were in Chick-fil-A. My mother-in-law, Shirley Walton. We love you if you're listening in right now. I don't know if she listens to the show. She might be like,
my mom probably don't listen.
She probably listen.
Yes.
She probably just don't.
I know
want
my
to
Aunt Janice. Yeah.
I know she probably listen. She just don't want to tell you she listens because of the topics that's on this thing. I understand. It could be like that, but it's no.
And yo, okay, let me go ahead and put this. My mom know the type of person that married, so she know Jeff was crazy. So that may be another reason why she does not listen to it.
That way you have to talk about it. Because we want to have the birds and the bees talk with her with Miss.
We're not gonna do that, but anyway, go ahead, move forward.
I think that'd be good. Y'all push back. But the point I was trying to make was we were in Chick-fil-A. We were in there, and they had a wet floor. Somebody's mopped the floor. Of course, Chick-fil-A is a great restaurant. I could even say them, they're not sponsored yet, they will be. But so they're mopping the floor, and this lady's walking by, right? And she slips right behind my mother-in-law's chair. She slips, and she's like, boom, hit the ground. And so my mother-in-law's like, oh my goodness!
We thought something happened to her.
And so she just yells it out, like, oh, and grab, like, you clutch your pearls. If you can imagine, you listen to you clutch your neck like this, and your pearls are. And so the next thing, the lady gets up who fell, and she's like, ma'am, are you okay? So she asked the lady who fell, like, ma'am, are you okay? That shocked me as I hit the floor. I was more worried about what happened here. And so that was hilarious to me. I wish I got that recorded. I would like watch that every morning as a motivational piece to my day. That was hilarious. So for the lady who fell, to be like, ma'am, are you all right? Do I need to get somebody help for you? Because that was very loud. And it was hilarious. And so I was saying it to say that my wife, my beautiful wife, has taken on some of those characteristics as well. As we were just watching just anything. We were watching a movie. What was it? A show. Oh, we were watching, I don't know, some show was on. And then it just like something something drastic, right? So like this lady shoots this guy who she says broke into her home. It was like came out of nowhere. She's like, Papa. She's like, oh my goodness. I was like, oh man, I'm reliving this situation. Yep, you see that? And so I think it's the conscious you are. I don't know if you really realize that. Do you realize those things that take place?
No. Yeah.
So fellas, you gotta look into the mom or grandmama, whoever they're with, and see exactly what's happening there. It gives you a little foreshadowing. Some of those things that will happen. I don't know for men, it may be. I don't know. Is it the same thing for men? Do you see me in the same way?
Yeah.
I don't know. If it's
and then what else do I have? My mom.
So you said that, yeah. So saying those things, the driving about that.
Another thing too.
Driving in the dark.
Yeah.
That's what you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. What is the difference between driving in the dark and the light? It's just not as much light. You know what I'm saying? I just understand it. Like, how you know I like to be out here in the dark driving. I'm like, what is going on? What is the problem? What is the problem? It's the same thing. And so it turns into different things. Or maybe you listen to that and maybe you go to sleep. Maybe you saw your parents go. I don't know if my mom goes to sleep at 6 o'clock. I'm going to bed. And she does that now sometimes. She's like, I'm getting to bed. I'm like, I don't think I ever transport with that. Now I respect my mom. Look. But yeah, going to bed at 6 o'clock. So,
now I know one thing, no matter what time I go to bed, I got this from my mom though. No matter what time I go to bed, I pretty much wake up around the same time. I don't know, that may just be a biological clock thing where you wake up at the same time for sure. So yeah, no matter what time, you go to bed, you wake up the same amount of time. So yeah.
Sometimes it's yeah, that's good. That's true. I don't know if it's about maybe something like that, but I'm thinking of just those things.
So what are some things that you feel like you got from your folks?
Yeah. My folks, mom. Like I said, the socialization. I think that came. Mm-hmm. So like 1/3 of kids got that. It's me.
Well, you being shady today.
I am. Today? That's what I'm about. I'm about shade, and you do throw shade first so you don't catch it. Let me see what I don't know. Like I was thinking about this question as we were going to the episode. I don't know a lot of things, and so now we can say anything about anything you see that maybe I have that is similar to my parents.
Okay.
Everything.
Well, I definitely agree. I think with your dad just being a social butterfly, I think you definitely got that. I think you do also have like some of the ways of your mom as far as like Jeff's mom is very loving. And I believe you're affectionate, you get from your dad, but Jeff's mom is very
affectionate. Yeah. Oh, I couldn't mention that. My dad was always
he was very affectionate as well, and cracking jokes and that sort of thing. But Jeff's mom, but I think you get.
I think my dad liked the yams too.
And I believe you get some of like your firmness or your sternness. Like Jeff's mom was very firm and stern though. So she's very lovely, sweet lady. But that switch would come, and I'm like, who you think you're talk to her.
No, she's mentioning this. And many people look at us and think it's like, they think because I do comedy, I do stand-up comedy, they think that I am the more playful one with the kids. I was like, no. So
he's not. I am.
So, I keep the order in it. You see what I'm saying?
That's not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
What I'm saying,
because the thing about it is, I am affectionate. I'm more affectionate with the kids, and I bring order and discipline to the kids. But it's a balance for me. Jeff is like, it's a Joe Jackson Academy.
That's right. Mr. Joe Jackson Academy coming soon to a city near you. Yeah. No, because I think I was raised in this. I've been educated too in the school system, so I just know what happens. Also too, we don't hire any moms at the Mr. Joe Jackson Academy because they are affectionate, and then they second guess their disciplinary structures. They be like, do you think I was too harsh for the kids? They be like, them kids, they live rent free. Yeah. They eat for free. Let me go. You can be staying with me and let me live rent free, eat groceries for free. They eat at Chick-fil-A on several. You know when I first ate Chick-fil-A? I was in college. And these kids have eaten multiple amounts of Chick-fil-A. And there's no... That alone should exude love for us in that situation. And so I think that's the difference. I think you'd be like, oh, like, do you think? I'd be like, they don't have feelings. They are children.
They do have feelings.
They do have. Not as much. They bounce back quick. Kids bounce back quick.
They're very resilient, but you
got it.
Yes.
So
as your spouse.
Yeah.
As your spouse, what do you see? Do you see any of you've been around their parents or not? Do you see some characteristics of their parents?
Some of y'all starting to look like your parents do. Some of y'all starting you snoring like your parents. I hear from people too. They be like, oh, I just love this person, and they start snoring. You be like, I can't live like this. And it gets to that point, you start to think like, man, my parents were snoring at that age. My parents was doing that. My parents.
Though. I'm pretty good with that.
How do you know you don't snore? Like, that's a question for everybody. How do you know you?
Because I know me.
So you know yourself. So you be like, look at yourself sleep, like, look at me. No, I'm snoring. Because you be snoring sometimes. You don't know that. Yes, you do. I got receipts. No,
I
This is what you did. You was in that thing. You didn't realize this because you sleep. That's why I'm wondering how you know you don't snore. That's why I'm wondering, how do you know you don't snore? Anybody who listens to this,
I do not snore.
You have to. I'm your only basis of knowing you don't snore.
I do not snore.
You do. Not all the time, but I'm saying you do snore.
I do not snore.
This is how you sound. Okay. We're in free mode. So whenever you need to have a conversation with somebody, with your spouse, you'd be like, we're in friend mode right now, okay? This is how you sound. You be like, it's a more aggressive. It's an aggressive first snore. And you go down light, and you go. And you come down through. You don't even realize you were just swatted the other night. You think so? Did you realize you were swatting in your sleep? Like you talking about like swat, like Mr. Miyagi, like you know what I'm saying? I love Mr. Miyagi. So that's my best friend. And so he's like, I'm like, what the world? Am I gonna have to put a tranquilizer dart on it? Like, put it down for my own safety? Because I'm not going to catch no black eye and go to work and say, what happened? And you having to explain domestic violence, your wife hit you. At this point. So,
something else that I do get from my mom, I laugh loud.
Oh.
And I talk loud.
And another thing, on speakerphone. Oh my, do you ever know somebody on speakerphone? And nobody wants to hear your conversation. The phone is designed to be put to your ear or get an earpiece or something.
I started using my earpiece more.
Not as much, still not as often as you need to. And so I'm like,
I don't like the phone I don't like the phone up against my ear. I don't know what's all in the, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what's all in the.
Get you with something to put in your ear all down. Oh my goodness.
I do start using my earbuds more, but I don't like the phone up to my ear. Because it's a lot on this thing, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, well listen, that ain't got nothing to do with me. I just don't want to hear your conversation as you walking through, and then you get somebody get off speakerphone. That's why I ask people, get off speakerphone. Oh, one thing you were doing is when we were dating, and I had to change this because I would not have married anybody like this with. But she would not put a bag in her garbage can. So I'm like, what in?
And he's talking about the bag in
like you put like
in the bathroom
bag or something. Yeah, like you put a small
the decorative
bag. We use like Walmart bags or Kroger bags or some type of grocery store bag. In those, they very work well. So environmentalists, Yes, that's what they're for. And so that's why we have them. Black people have those too. And I don't know, I have white friends, and they're like, where y'all get your bags at? We keep those, and they use for different things. You fry fish, you can shake it up, do different things. And there's wonderful items they use. They're free. They come with your groceries for the most part. But she
but do
would
y'all
not
realize, you
put-
know, we doing the fried fish. You know how many germs though.
Once again, you cook those out. Germs are cooked out. That's what's wrong with people now. That's why we've been worked down to think of germs. And you know what people talk about germs? They didn't want it there once. They
I was like, no, I'm saying we didn't think
Oh, yeah.
about that. We didn't,
because it helps your immune system. Now the reason why folks get so sick because you got no.
You are no germs. You are no germs.
Your immune system
You
ain't
need
working
good
at all.
germs.
You need good germs. Lick the bottom of your shoe or something. Get it up. But she did not have a garbage bag in there. And then I found out is that what was the common thing for you coming up?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I mean, it was a decorative trash can, and you don't have to.
But you don't put trash.
But all you do is when it's time to dump, you just dump it in a bag.
But then this is what happens too. They would have liquidy items or wet tissue. Or
No,
something.
not in the bathroom. It was the bathroom, not in the bathroom. Like.
No, I'm talking about it would be stuff on that side that we have it. So,
well, I'm just letting you know. Yeah.
So she's not touching this. That's what happened. And so you pick up items that you would do before, or I realized that you're trained about what's normal coming up, and many times you equate that to what's happening, to what you do. And so like doing anything, right? So like cooking or something like that. Like some people cook a lot, some people don't. Some people don't put trash bags in the bag. Some people do. Some people, like, it just depends on what you saw coming up. Typically equates to either you're doing that or you don't do that as something that's normal. Because you're not in every other household. That's why I realized what I do is like, oh, I saw my dad doing that. That's normal for me. Or I saw my dad as affectionate. And so, like, some people say, oh, you're affectionate for a guy. I was like, well, that's the norm. That's what I saw. That's what I want to aspire to be. So thanks. Shout out to my dad for doing that. But, so yeah, so ask your person you went to, what are some things that they are on? What do you have? And so, yes, I think that's a good time right there. When are you turning your parents?
Yes.
And when did that switch go off? Did you feel the switch go off for you? Did you feel the switch go off? Like, yes, this darkness is too scary to drive in.
This article was talking about how a lot of times you really start to become your parent when you become a parent. It's just one of those instincts they just kind of kick in. So I would just say, take the good with that. Take the discipline and the firmness in that. For me, being more more communicative and all of that stuff with my kids is important to me. So so when it comes to discipline, it used for me, it was like if you got discipline, there was no talk afterwards. It was pretty much you did this is your punishment, and we're done with this. And I think it worked. It worked for me for sure. But
my mom did that too. Like, too much talking.
Yeah, but for me though, it's like if you got with Malia and Jace, more so Jace, if you if he gets in trouble or she gets in trouble, there is a consequence for it. But I want them to understand why they got the consequence that they did. That's important. That's important to me.
So it's different. That's
different. So that's something that is different.
Than
than what my mom did. And like I say, it's nothing wrong with what my mom did, but I just wanted to take that to another level. You know what I'm saying? To help them understand why. And then another thing too that we're doing is we have to teach our younger people now is about at an early age about budgeting and and that sort of thing. Like tonight, Malia, she been collecting her money from the Tooth Fairy and from the Tooth Fairy, yay Tooth Fairy, and so
that's another thing that we Tooth Fairy is $5 for Tooth Fairy. Tooth Fairy I knew was only giving $1.
Yeah. Well, Tooth Fairy gets $5. And so tonight she wanted to take her money to take me out to dinner. McAllister's gives kids eat free on Tuesday nights, and so of course only my meal has to be paid. And so
y'all didn't bring me back nothing.
So we went, and so it was so funny though. It was $15.54, and Malia had exactly $15, but I didn't want to swipe my card for 54 cents, and I didn't have any change. And so I was like, "Well, Malia, how about this? I'll take the $15 and I'll pay for it." And so at first she said, "Okay." So I went ahead and swiped my card, and as soon as I swiped my card, she was like, "Can I have my money back?" So she became her daddy then because. so yes, so
this, too. I'm thinking about too because I'm thinking. Like, my parents were not budgeters, but it's something that I picked up on. I saw them struggling financially on some things, and so I was like, I don't want to do that. Mm-hmm. And so I think you can use that, because I was talking about the flip side of that is, like, what are some things that you saw coming up that your parents did that you want to change? I think you already hit off one right there, and that's one that I wanted to change of, like, I wanted to be debt-free. So thank the Lord, if you want to go back to episode, like, two or three, about how we paid our house off, in 11 years, 30-year mortgage, 11 years. Whoop, whoop. God is good. Hello, somebody. Yeah. And so, yeah, go back and listen to the episode. But, like, that is something that I didn't want to do. So I aspired to do things even when I was in high school and whatnot, working. Too, like, I wanted to have a better situation than that. So I think sometimes looking at those things, you don't have to repeat those things that your parents did just because they did them and that became the norm for you does not mean that you have to do it. So if your parents were always like broke or like always struggle financially because of for whatever reason, like you don't have to live those same things. Or if your parents were always arguing all the time, which I see a lot of people do this too, because that becomes the norm of relationships. Like I was talking to somebody, it was a little while back, but they were saying like they don't do arguing because they saw their parents argue all the time before they got divorced. So they're thinking any arguments will lead to divorce. And saying arguments is not bad. It's navigating those things.
Yeah. And I think another thing too is
another thing. Oh, there you go. The statement.
So
what's this? What's this?
You know, having healthy disagreements, and because I do. Like, we don't necessarily argue in front of the kids. That's one of the things that we both attempt not to argue in front of the kids. But we will have a disagreement because as children, they need to understand, like, it's okay to disagree with somebody and still love them and care for them, and how to have a disagreement, you know, and still be good. And it's so funny because Jace will even say, you know, if we have a disagreement, and then Jace would come and be like, "Okay, guys, stop." What do you say? Stop.
Oh, so yeah, so there's a movie in Wreck-It Ralph where they're arguing, and then the lady's like, girls, you're both pretty.
And so when we have a disagreement, so Jace would come and say, girls, you both pretty. And so it kind of like lightens the mood. So,
definitely.
So
So seeing those things too, like what are some toxic things that you may be repeating now in your relationship that you saw that's a detriment to who you are right now? I said something, and so really think about that. And so many times your spouse may be able to say that. Can you receive that, right? So like saying that, let's say if I saw abuse with my mom and dad, I didn't see that, but I'm saying if that came out, like do I recognize that as a toxic behavior, and can I get help and first heal myself before I'm getting there? Or anger, right? So like there are triggers that saying the first thing, because it's something that your spouse gonna do is gonna make you angry, and vice versa.
And you know it, and you know that,
those triggers. But how do you deal with those triggers? Can I communicate saying, hey, or do you go into a rage that you act off emotion? And so I think with that, like turning to your parents can be a good thing in some cases, right? So they were there, but it also can be a negative situation if you repeating those things that they did, and maybe they needed to heal from some things and they never had the opportunity to do that, and so now you're repeating that and going straight through. So maybe it's like, hey, I have to have a certain amount of women or men, or I have to, you know, like I ain't bringing my chick, you know what I'm saying? Like I hear different things and it comes from a place, but just understanding why and get into having a conversation.
Get to the root of it.
Yes. So it puts us now at the love portion. Unless you have something else on that.
No, that's pretty much it. We did the love portion.
Oh yeah. Well, I was just going to add this portion of saying, you know, definitely, you know, sit down with your spouse, have a good time, say, hey, where do you see my parents in me, right? And just listen. Don't disagree. And then do the vice versa. Don't be vindictive on the other side. They say something like that. I know it's hard. And then, but also think about, a real question with this. I know we laugh a lot, but ask them like, what do you see any toxic traits that I have? And really being honest about listening to those things and saying, let me be reflective without saying no and just sit on it for 24 hours, right? Without responding, without getting angry. If anger is your thing, and say, well, sometimes the kids and I are afraid to say something when something happens, when your team loses or when you get off work or whatever, right? And so we walk on eggshells at the house. Maybe you saw that, and so just don't say anything, but let that chew on. Pray about it for 24 hours and come back and say,
right, this is what I see, that I would love for you to.
Yes, and then, like you said, but being able to grow from there. I think the conversation can be fun, but it also be something that can really transform your marriage. Like, you don't have to be what your parents were, right? You're not doomed to do what they did.
So take the good characteristics. That's what we're saying. Take the good characteristics because, of course, our parents loved us. They did the best that they could, and we're here and a living testimony as a result of that. I think everybody, even our Mr. Family, your parents did what they knew how. You know what I'm saying? And so appreciate that. But also empathize with your parents because raising us, was tough, especially, and if you even in another generation above us, raising you was tough, so,
definitely.
So it's a blessing that you are, where you are. So kudos to your parents and all of that. So not saying that, but take the good, empathize with your parents as well, and leave what you don't like. Leave that, and
heal from it too, like dig into it.
Yeah.
Many people I don't want to dig into that because
but you need the healing.
Because this relationship is dependent on you being the best self you can be, right? Because what you don't realize is many times you're taking it out on people closer to you. Many times your spouse or your kids or somebody in the sense. So you got to think like, man, what am I doing? It's a negative thing. And my spouse is like, I don't want to talk about it because they blow up, or I'll just rather be passive about it because they're going to do something that's going to be negative. So let me try to make sure they don't get to that point. It's really not their responsibility. It's your responsibility to heal yourself and communicate that, saying, hey, I'm struggling with this, right? So being honest with that, I think that helps a whole lot. So go out there, talk about it. Think about 33 years old for women. I think it said 35 for men, and that kind of weird right there.
30 to 35 for men and women. Yeah.
No, well, I was looking at a couple articles that said this. I'm going off the science, baby. I got receipts.
Anyway, so look at your spouse.
It's the Mr. Mantra, right?
Yeah.
So what do you argue this whole episode?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Every argument you have, right? End with this. Look him in the mouth. So make sure you got it together.
And the eyes, not the mouth.
You can look in the mouth too.
Okay.
In the eyes. Say,
I like you. I love you, and I want you.
Get a little sugar.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
All right, we love you. God loves you, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. I want to tell you, listen to the #1 rated podcast in the world. And if you want to go on social media, we're on the Mr. and Mrs. Mr. Podcast on Facebook and mr.mrs.mistr on Instagram, Twitter. Follow us, share questions with us. We're going to talk about questions real soon as well. And you turn to your parents. You are your parents now. So stay with us and rock with us. And let's sing it on now like we do now. Come on.
Laugh, learn, love.
Take it on up.
Laugh, learn, love.
Return to your parents.
Laugh, learn, love.
On the Mr. and Mrs. Mr. Podcast Show.
Laugh, learn, love.
You your daddy.
Laugh, learn, love.
And you your mama.
Laugh, learn, love.
On the Mr. and Mrs. Mr. Podcast Show. Yeah.
And that's our show.
Yeah. Go back and listen to episode 10 of Somebody Another Human Body, baby. Yeah.